Hey, good morning. Okay, so you might be looking at the topic of this one and going, what on earth is she talking about? I gotta put my light on here. I'm a little dark. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Okay. So you might be looking at the topic for this video and going, has she lost her mind? Because we just talked all about values and how important values were on Tuesday. And now she's saying, are your values stopping you from being successful in life? I have an angle with this, so stick with me. Okay. So last time we talked all about values-based business and what that means. And if you didn't see that video, go back to the video section for this page and watch that one because I think it's really important. I don't think I've ever done a video on this page where I have gotten so much feedback from people. Not only people in the group were talking about it, people in my course were talking about it, I was getting messaged about it, that really resonated with a lot of people. And so I wanted to talk today about how your values or how you're living your values is stopping you from being successful. I think very often we know what our values are, right? We know what is important to us. I know a lot of you have really been thinking about this, especially those of you that are in the Empowered Bookkeeper Network and in Bookkeeper Training School. Good morning, Kelly. And I've seen a lot of reflection over the past couple days. I've seen people really solidifying in like, okay, these are my values, these are my goals. And I think the problem is that we often have a general sense of what we value, but we've never really written it down before in a place where we have to see it all the time. Okay. And so what often happens in our lives is that we're not actually living our values. Okay. And when that happens, like, do you ever get that feeling that, like, you're not going in the right direction, you're not where you're supposed to be, you're having trouble kind of, keeping to the things that you should be doing? When that's happening, I want you to do a gut check. And I want you to see, is the way that I'm behaving congruent with my values? I see this a lot with money. Okay, this happens a lot with money. People say, I want to be a saver. I want to save for retirement. I want to save for my kids. I want to do, X, Y, Z. I say, okay, so why are you not doing that? And very often it's because their spending does not reflect their values. Okay. And there's lots of different reasons that happens, but very often that's the case. I see people who say, I value family, I value relationships, and then they're on this thing all the time. Right? And I get it. It's hard. I get it. Okay. But I think oftentimes when we're really unhappy, when we're really struggling, it's because we are not in touch with our values. And it will stop you dead in your tracks. Okay? If you value family and relationships and you're chasing money all the time, you're going to feel like you're being pulled in two different directions. Right? And I will tell you, from my experience, and this happens to all of us, okay? I just want you to know you're not alone. And this happens to me where, like, I have to do, like, a gut check where I have to say, you know what? Kristen, where are we? What do we value? Let's take a look at that. Does this line up with what you value? Okay? And if it does, then we go with it. And if it doesn't, we stop. Right? And we reevaluate and we figure out where we're going. So if you're kind of feeling discombobulated, right? If you're feeling like you don't have a sense of direction. And do I have it in here? Oh, I do. I do. Okay. Um, I love giving you guys book recommendations. I love this book. It's called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Yes, McKeown. And I will put this in. I'll put a link in the show notes. The paperback just came out, and if you buy the paperback, you get a code to get his 21-day Essentialism challenge for free. But this book is all about figuring out what is essential, right, in your life, what is critical in your life, and how to spend more time on that. Hey, good morning, Autumn. I think it's funny. This book is actually like an annual read for me. I have the audio version as well. And he has another book that's coming out in April that I already have on pre-order. And he has a podcast, okay? Which is the What's Essential podcast. So you might want to like start with that, and then see if this book might work for you. But figuring out for me, right? And this is like seriously, this is why I read this book every single year, because I struggle with this. And I find that when I start to struggle with it a little bit more, I actually go back to the book again. Okay, it's a super easy read too. Greg's a great writer, and it's a really good audiobook too if you want it that way. But when I start to struggle, I sit down and go, okay, Kristen, what do I value? Right? What are my values? And for me, family is very important. My relationships with them are very important. Having time with Eric and Jeff, critically important. Making sure that I'm taking care of myself so I can be around for them, critically important. For me, that's like those are the top of the list, right? And so then I sit there and go, okay, so what am I doing? Like, what have my last couple days looked like? Am I working too much? Am I not getting enough sleep? Am I getting my walks in? Am I living what I value? And if I'm not, then I need to sit down and readjust. And there are going to be periods of time that you are going to stray away from your values. But that's why it is so important to know what they are. It is so important to have them, really visible, really present in your life. Because if you don't have them right where, right in front of you. I love folks that have, the word art where that says like family, right? Or the word art that says, God, or the word art, I used to have one when Eric's room was my office. I had a thing over my desk that said breathe. And I would look at that and I go, oh, yes. Okay. Right? And it would just be a reminder like, hey, take a second. You're going too fast. And so, but I love those because it makes it present, right? It makes it visible. If your family is important, you have pictures of your family, all around you. Surround yourself in your values and make sure that you are living those values. So, go back through if you're having, trouble with money, sit down and say, okay, what do I value? Am I spending my money that way? Right? It was interesting. I was on a call with David Bach this week, and he was asking people what their Latte Factor is. And the Latte Factor is, what is that thing that you spend money on that, might be a little bit, might be a little bit frivolous, might be something that's causing you to not get ahead financially. And he calls it the Latte Factor because, for a lot of people, it's that, that $2, $3, $5 coffee, every single morning. for a lot of people, it used to be, it used to be cigarettes and how expensive those were. Um, for some people, it's lottery tickets. For some people, it's like that, that area when you first walk into Target where everything's like a buck or two, right? For some people, it's that. For some people, it's the dollar store. Um, for some people, it's home goods, right? Or Marshalls, or um, you know, or World Market. For a lot of people right now, it's Amazon, right? They just kind of get on Amazon and they scroll and they buy, right? And so financially, what are those things? And then at home, I find that more often I'm trying to keep this in another room. So if I'm playing with Eric in his playroom, my phone is in the kitchen, so I can still hear the ringer, but it's not right there. And it's hard. I'm telling you, the struggle is real. One thing that's really helping me is that we're in the process of moving our Facebook group for the Empower Bookkeeper Network, which you get when you buy Bookkeeper Training School. We're actually moving that off of Facebook to a platform called Circle. Um, and it's glorious. It is like, I love not being on Facebook so often. I'm still coming here to talk to you guys, right? And to come through the page, and do these lives, but I'm spending a lot less time on social media, which makes me way more productive during the day, which means that when I'm not at my desk, I can really focus on my family. And so, it's interesting because when we were trying to decide, to make that move, if I keep telling my members, stay off social media and get your work done, but then, I'm causing them to get all these notifications on social media, it was one of those things that I felt was not congruent with what I believed, right? And it wasn't congruent with what I was teaching. And so when we found this platform, a lot of people are like, yeah, that's awesome, that's great. And there's some people like, no, don't leave Facebook, because I love Facebook. But if I'm teaching use Facebook as a marketing tool and then get off the platform, then I'm not being congruent, by encouraging people to stay here. And so, so I'm loving the platform so far. I can go in, I can answer everybody's questions, and I can get back out. And I'm not, I don't get stuck in all the notifications and the scrolling and what have you. I love it. It's awesome. It's great. And I would encourage all of you, when you're done watching this video, close down social media and say, okay, another thing I got from Greg, okay, I literally have something on all of my screens. My desktop on all my screens is, what is the most important thing I need to do today? And I ask myself on a regular basis, especially when I find myself kind of veering, what is the most important thing I should be doing right now? Okay. Yeah, Kelly, I mean, it's funny, right? You see those notifications and you're like, oh, I gotta go, right? I gotta see. And that's why I love the fact that we are moving off of Facebook for our group. I am so excited about that. So, yeah, it's funny how that works though, huh? So hopefully you'll log off after this. Kelly's going to go back to her deep QBO study so that she can get certified. Figure out what is the most important thing that you should be doing right now, whether that's family, whether that's work, whether that's doing work on yourself, whatever that is, go do it. And I will see you guys next time. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.